Hey guys, it's me, Jay. This is my knitting podcast. I can't even remember the name of it now. I changed the name last year, and Stitchy Jam Knits and Sews, there we go. For those of you new here, welcome, and for those returning, welcome back. Those returning will know I started a crazy second job at the beginning of the year, which is why I haven't had the capacity to film. I finished that second job last week. I have a lot to catch you up on. It's the first week in 2 months that I've had a minute to sit and really get into something that isn't just basic stockinette, and even that I haven't been able to pick up my knitting very often, and I haven't therefore had not really that much to tell you about. Life has been crazy, and I have plans to do a proper podcast, but I wanted to come and say hi and check in and see how you all are, and let you know that life in my world has been too crazy for crafting. It's been busy, it's been stressful. I haven't had the headspace for anything, including this podcast, but I'm starting to ease back into normal rhythm and taking away some of the stress. So the last couple of days, yesterday I had a brain fart when I picked this up because I haven't picked it up for so long, but this is my Sally vest. So this is by Annabelle Williams. It's called the Sally vest, and I'm doing a Scrappy vest. I'm still working on my shawl. I have a shawl I'm working on, and I have a pair of socks that I'm working on. I'm up to the heel flap and gusset on the second sock of the socks, and on the shawl I'm up to day, I think, that's a good question. It's on my Instagram, Stitchy Jam Knits and Sews. I am up to, I believe, day 18 or 19 of 24. So I've made some progress on that, and I will show you guys. This is the Sally vest, where I've done the back and I've just done my short rows for the front, and I'm now increasing, making the neck increase row. So yeah, I will endeavor to make a podcast, whether this is it and I add to it later today, or whether I put this up and then I come back when I have some time, probably next week. If not next week, definitely the week after, and catch you up on life, knitting, sewing. So even though I've not done a lot over the last couple of months, I have done a little bit here and there when I've had the opportunity. This is DK. My shawl is 4-ply, my socks are 4-ply. They're the 3 knitting projects I have on the go at the moment, and I will put a little bit of footage for what I've got to do with those in here so you can see what I'm working on. And my sewing, I'm working on a Bilbo vest by Thread and Yarn. The pattern is for Thread and Yarn, where I'm cutting out an old quilt into a vest, and so I'll pop a little bit of footage of that in there too. So it's going to be quite a short and sweet podcast today, but I missed you guys. I'm sure you've missed me, and I wanted to just get something up to say I'm okay, I'm here, I'm alive. I've just had a really full-on few months, and I've been working 2 jobs, so I've had no time, and I've been stressed, and I've got a lot of family stuff going on, but all of that is, I'm readjusting and getting back into my slow rhythm and doing the self-care and making time for crafts, and we're making a comeback tour. Even though it's only been a few months, it feels like it's been a very long time. So thanks guys for continuing to support my channel. Thank you. I know I've got new followers. Hello there. And I will bring you a proper long podcast episode very soon. In the meantime, feel free to have a look. I've got 2 years worth of content. Please feel free to have a look. See where I've been knitting along the way. And I'll catch up with you guys soon. Bye for now. Just to say as well, this is my first garment. I did start another garment 3 years ago when I first started knitting, but it was a sweater and it was sized really big because I was a bigger size at the time, and it was in 4-ply, and it still exists, but I made the decision this year and last year to frog it. So this is my first, I've started garments, and look, maybe this one won't get finished, but I'm projecting that this will be my first finished garment. Putting that out there into the universe. And it's a lovely vest for a beginner garment maker. The pattern is a little bit tricky to understand, but I'm learning, and I thankfully have my mum with me who has been knitting for much longer than me and can help me to interpret things. You know, it's just learning the language, learning how the pattern maker writes things, learning how to read, you know, gaps where they think that they've told you enough information, but if you've never done something before, it's not enough info. And yeah, I think it's why I enjoy the fact that people do test knits and things like that, where they cater for everyone with different levels of knitting experience, because it then helps them write a better pattern, so that if a new knitter like myself picks something up, it's much easier to read, because there's a lot more information in it, and that's from my experience. If it's not sort of, you know, if you're experiencing it, then reading between the lines is something that will come very easy to you. But as a newish knitter, sometimes I read things several times and I don't understand what they're trying to tell me, because it's as if they're writing it as if I know, because I've been doing it for a long time, if that makes sense. I think that makes sense. So apparently I'm talking to you and knitting today. I hope that my storage doesn't conk out. And that's the other thing. I've been a bit stressed because the last couple of podcasts I've filmed, my storage is conked out. In fact, so much so that I'm going to pause this video here and I'm just going to hit the record button again, just in case I lose this footage. You won't know anything. Yeah, anyway, I'm back. Yeah, so you know, as I was saying, right, in January I took on 2 jobs and I was working 7 days a week for a little while, and I quickly realized that that was not sustainable, and then I went to 6 days, and that was fine. That was manageable, having 1 day off, but it's still, I wasn't feeling it, and I kept trying, but you know, the universe looked after me. I thought about, I think it's time to hand my notice in, at the same time that my manager decided that there wasn't enough room in the business for another employee. There was some things going on in the background which meant that she didn't need me anymore, and so it kind of worked out, so that's good. And there's been some high stress at my main job, but I think that's settled down a little bit for now anyway, touch wood. And I can breathe a little bit again. And the family stuff, well, my dad's not very well, and that's not going away anytime soon. But with enough downtime, I can manage that also, right? I haven't been sleeping well this week. I went out for Mardi Gras weekend and I had a great time, but I don't drink, and so then I get a bit of anxiety after. As well as being out of routine and rhythm and things like that. It's good to go out and do things and push yourself out of your comfort zone. I had a lot of fun, but it means the next few days, because I'm neurodivergent, my brain just spends days and days and days processing, and I feel it in my body, I feel it in my soul, and then it settles back down again. And you know, I'm pushing myself to do things with new people this year and do new things. I promised myself I would get out there and live a little, not all the time, but you know, catching up for coffee, catching up with friends, going out for dinner, going to shows, going out every now and then. Things that I sometimes put off because it's easier not to. And with that comes a little bit of, you know, the juju, the anxious juju, but it's important to keep doing these things. Now I'm talking to you, I don't know whether I increased or not, so I'm going to count my stitches. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. Which is where I should be at. 7. Alright, hold on. Have I gone too much? Alright, knit to the last stitch, make one right, repeat 4 times. So there, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, okay, good, we're in business. Now I do a purl row. Work 2 rows on the right side. Knit, make one, purl 4 more times. Right, so I'm going to do purl, knit. Something gonna miss. It hasn't, because I've got the right amount of stitches. Right, so we started off there, 16. Increase by 1 there, and purl, yes, so that's there, fine. Then 1, 2, 3 and 4. That doesn't seem right. I'm gonna pause you guys because I need to double check this. Or shall I keep recording? I don't know. I start off there, 16. Knit to the last stitch, make one right, knit one, yes, done that. Purl, right, so that would be now every other row 4 more times. 1, 2, 3, yeah. Let me count these. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 21. That makes no sense. Alright, I need to go figure this out. Bye for now. Right, so I have checked my knitting, I've checked the pattern, checked the rows, I've checked this, I've checked that, and this is the second time this has happened to me. I think that there is an error in this pattern. But I've got the right amount of stitches for the increase, and I've checked it, double checked it, triple checked it, and where it says in this pattern, repeat neck increase row every other row 4 more times, what it should say, I think, after looking and getting my mother to look, is that it should really say just 4 times, not 4 more times. Because if I do 1 and then 4, then it's going to be too many stitches in the count. So I'm going to wing it. I will probably have a look on Ravelry and see if there's any notes and see if anyone else has had this problem, and before I crack on with this. But this is where it gets frustrating, when I'm trying to learn something, and you know, it's all well and good thinking maybe I picked up a stitch, maybe I've dropped a stitch. No, I haven't. I've gone through it. And when I picked this up, you know, last year, and I got to this point, I had the exact same problem. And so I think that it's either me repeating the same mistakes, but I'm following this pattern to a T, or there's one small slight word in here that's incorrect. So I'll have a look on Ravelry and see if anyone else has had this issue. Let's do that. Ravelry. Right, where are we? Projects. And it happens, you know, we're all human. Right, let's have a look. Let's go to the forum, shall we? 129 people have made this. Where do I look? Blah, blah, blah. Let's see. Is there a forum? Comments, forum post. Here we go. One to the right side. How do I adjust pattern with one size? Input on this yarn against me. There's not really anything in the forum. Comments. Work increase rate on the right side. Work the increase rate on the right side, then work the here. Increase rate every 4 rows. Aha! Someone else has had this problem. When the pattern says repeat increase rate every other row. Oh no, that's different. Okay. 2 rows every 4 rows. Not every 4. But it's in the same spot. It's the same section. All right. Well, I would ask you guys what your advice is, but this is not live, so I shall trust my gut and carry on, I think, is the answer. As I have the right amount of stitches, I've checked and double checked. I think I'm going to have to go with my gut. Because I'm not patient enough to email her, figure it out, I want to keep going with it. Anyway, you don't need to hear me waffle on about that. So just going back to this, because apparently I'm doing a podcast episode on the fly here. With this, it's a Scrappy vest. I'm doing Scrappy. I'm using as much yarn as I can. So it's a DK weight. Some of it is already DK and some of it I'm holding double. I haven't had to hold anything triple yet, but double definitely. And I'm working my way through my scraps. and it will be these kind of earthy colours. Here. Oops. Run away, yarn. So, I think I've gone through these on another video. Oh, they're not going to stay in it, but there's like pinks and there's yellows. There's earthy tones, there's mixes, there's matches, there's some lovely grey. There is some white, but I probably won't put that in there. I haven't decided yet. This is yellow I dyed myself. And given that I also dyed a t-shirt at the same time as I dyed this, I don't think the dye is going to hold. So I'm probably not going to use that. Probably use that for something else. But the t-shirt I had, and I washed and I washed and I washed, it didn't hold. I was just experimenting with that. While I've got you here, I'm going to pause and I'm going to go and get my shawl. And yeah, I'm sorry this is a little all over the place, but I think this is what we're going to get this time. So ignore everything I said about doing a proper one later and this being short. And I will do a proper one later. But let's consider this a proper impromptu, where my brain's at kind of a podcast this week. I'll be back in a second. So before I sit down, I will show you where I've gotten with my Bilbo vest, because I've cut my quilt pieces out. And we've got this left, or right, sorry, and left. So this will become the panel. And I've kept a solid colour for the button band, but I think I'm going to do some sashiko down there. So that's sort of what it will look like roughly. And the back panel here like this. If you can imagine, it's going to be very busy and green and patchworky. But it's coming along. I've had a few problems with some cotton tension on my sewing machine. And the colour's coming through on the back here a little bit, because I used, see these little speckles? Because I used the wrong kind of thread basically. But I'm gonna work some magic and fix that up. Alright, while I'm here, let me show you. I've got to do, I can't say it's a finished sock because I've got to do the Kitchener stitch. But we've got one mostly finished sock. These are the ones I'm knitting for my best friend in the UK. It's a 4-ply. It's I got it from the Yorkshire Dales when I was there a couple of years ago when I was with her. And so it's sort of fitting to use that yarn that I was with her on the day that I bought it. And I thought it was an English yarn, but it's actually Indian. And it's merino, it's 4-ply. It's really beautiful. This is my very vanilla sock or something like that. Let me have a look. It's going to be one of those episodes, I think, today. Projects. Oh yeah, my favorite vanilla sock by Megan Schmaltz. Schmaltz? S-C-H-M-A-L-T-Z. So that's number one. So when I came on, I think I was up to, must have been up to there. Anyway, it's finished now. And I've done the whole of the leg on the second one. And I'm up to the heel flap at the moment. I'm gonna let a little bit more light in. And then my I got a where are you? Patterns. library. Right, so this is the Intengital Advent Mystery Shawl Cowl by Renee Strauss. It's meant to be an advent knit. It should be well and truly finished by now, but I've been doing one line per day and sometimes a bit more. It's a very slow progress because I haven't had any time, as I stated earlier, but it's beautiful, and this is where we're at with it. It's going to be hard to show you. And this is my Fibertrek. That's a podcast. I've talked about this a lot. Have a look in another episode for the link. Fibersmith. This is my Fibersmith 2024 Advent 4-ply merino and called Log Cabin. This makes a nice beard look. And this is a 24-day Advent, and I am up to day, I think 17 or 18. I'm not gonna, shall I count them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17. Yes, I'm on day 18 out of 24, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but it's looking beautiful. It's really hard to show a shawl until it's blocked, but you get the idea. So they're the things I'm working on at the moment. Bit by bit, little by little, inch by inch, stitch by stitch, row by row. And on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. I have a plan on talking about a topic of conversation that I wrote down. Let's have a look. I'm so sorry that this is all over the place, but this is where my head's at the moment. And that's the best I'm going to be doing for a minute. Where is it? Oh, that's right. I plan on doing an episode talking about the joy of the yarn that we use and why we get joy out of some yarn that we use and why we don't get joy out of other yarn, and there's a whole thing behind that thought, and that's a plan I have for a podcast, so that will be coming. Project bags are currently totally on hold. I haven't touched them, I haven't worked on them, I haven't picked anything up. I don't think I'll be making any project bags for a while. I still have some Christmas ones in my shop, the link is below. But my Australiana themed project bags, and at the moment I don't have the capacity to do anything with them. So if you're interested in buying a project bag, please follow me on Instagram, Stitchy Jam Knits and Sews, Stitchy Jam Project Bags, and you can be updated on there. And if you watch here, you'll be updated here as well. But at the moment, I'm just focusing on self-care and knitting on the projects that I have, doing some of my sewing, and yeah, like I said at the beginning of the year, not putting any pressure on to rush, to perform, to be fast, to make sure I'm just taking it slow, and I'm doing just that. So thank you so much for watching. Please give me a comment, say hi, and I hope everything is well in your end of the world. See you later.